How's everybody's day been? Has it been good? I know, almost Friday. That's what I'm waiting on. I'm ready for it. Ooh, camping this weekend. I know, this weekend is my anniversary of my dad passing and mine and Sam's anniversary. So, Labor Day weekend, we always have our anniversary, so we have plans. Ooh, a fair this weekend. Who is low? That's the owner of Unicorn Dust Supply Company. Oh, well, thank you. What up, Queen? What's up, Melissa? How you doing? Going to my camp this weekend, too. I love camping. I want to go somewhere that's got, like, a lake or a pond or something so I can just, like, sit out there and fish and relax and just, ugh. What's up, Devlin? What's with the bad things about Lowe? I've been out of the loop for a while. Well, in just a few minutes, we'll talk on it. Oh, you did get a notification? That's good. At least some people's getting it, because I'm being told that a lot's not, so. Look, I'm on before 8:30. That's crazy. You see Gabby from the Drama Town Center. They took Cam? They took Cameron? Maybe, just maybe, that will knock some sense into that girl. That boy deserves so much. I'm so glad to hear that. I mean, it's a horrible situation for him because this is, it's what he knows. So right now, I can only imagine the fear that he feels, not having his normal routine. I feel horrible for him in that aspect. But I really hope this either knocks some sense into her or he gets to be with someone, a family or friends or whoever is that's going to take over that actually gives that boy what he deserves. So that's been a long time coming. Wonder if she's going to go live now. Wow. We were talking about Gabby. She's, if you haven't been down that rabbit hole, I can't think of what her last name is, but and she changes her name on TikTok. But they call her the Drama Twins. It's Gabby and what's the alpha dog? What the hell's the other one's name? Danny. Yeah. And Cameron is Gabby's 3 or 4-year-old son. And the neglect that you watch on a nightly basis. Well, not even nightly. I mean, that girl, Gabby, is live. 4 years old. That girl is live all the time, day, night, and just the things that are done in front of him. Anyone who has a child would be appalled at the things that she's done and said in front of that child. And then just the neglect that goes on there. Yeah. Melatonin every night at 6. She had a psych about. Well, yeah, because I think she thinks that she's a prophet. Hasn't she like switched over to thinking that she's a prophet now? So I mean, it's I don't know if she's trying to play that it's a skit or she's in psychosis or what. It used to be Let Them, but what did she change the name to now? They wanted to make sure she could understand the parenting classes. Do y'all know what her TikTok name is now? Because I don't think it's Let Them anymore. I don't follow her. She just comes across some of my stuff. But that's a fucking rabbit hole. There's Reddit accounts, or Reddit threads that are just like crazy about them. So Danny's not as vibrant as Gabby is. I think the reason it matters more with Gabby is because of Cameron, her son, that's been involved with this and seen and heard things. Just when you go down the rabbit hole, just know there are things that are going to make you cringe. It is fucking wild. So the fact that it's taken this long is very surprising because this has been going on for a long time and she's been doing this on live in front of this child. So yeah, Danny can be funny. I don't like Danny because Danny hit the cat, punched the cat. Granted, they took accountability for it, but I don't know, anybody that could just like punch an animal, I don't trust you. If you can get to a point where you have to hit your animal, that's weird. Like I could never get. Yeah, it wasn't Enzo a cat. I think Enzo was a cat. Yeah, the grandma is the one that definitely. Yeah, okay. Enzo is the cat. Yeah. So I went down those a couple of times. I didn't really mention. I mean, we talked about it a few times in here, but there's so many people that was already talking about them, and everybody kind of, if you've been down that rabbit hole, you kind of knew what was fixing to happen. It was just taking a little while, but whew, I think it's a Waffle Lawyer on TikTok. They have a lot of updates that kind of kept me up to date on what was kind of going on with the Gabby drama. But I have been busting ass the past few days, so I didn't hear anything about that. So yeah, that's why I like watching like Waffle Lawyer and stuff like that, because it's I don't like watching. I don't know, like it's people like that it takes a while and then they'll have spurts of like what seems like mania, like where they're manic, and then it goes back into a boring live, and then they go manic again. So it's kind of like a back and forth thing. So if you go to those like Waffle Lawyer, and I think there's a couple other ones, that's the one that comes across my FYP. If you go to those, they kind of have the clips down of what will, like, the most pertinent things that she's said or done. And then I'm pretty sure there's some YouTubes also, but yeah, it is. Be prepared. That's all I have to say. Be prepared when you go down the Gabby and the Danny drama. Now, you're going to see the drama together where when they were like, they're twins. They used to be like, I guess they used to live together. And so it was different. Now they don't really, I think are they still mad at each other? I think they're still mad at each other. So now there's two different side notes. You got Danny, who's trying to have growth over here, but seems like they still might be an addict, and then you got Gabby, who is just in her own different reality. So, when they fight over their grandma's affection. Yo, I don't know. I don't really care for the grandma that much. I think that she like babies Gabby and really does I don't know what she said to Danny pissed me the fuck off. So I don't really care for that lady either. So I could see, but just because you come from crazy families doesn't give you a reason to act that way. You know, it doesn't give you a reason to act like that. So it's not an excuse. Anyways, let's go on to what I was gonna do. I told everyone that last night, because Low from Unicorn Dust Supply has came up multiple times in the live. Definitely could be. And so, let me go back to it. I reached out. I thought that I had their, and I'm going to go, I respectfully asked what pronouns they wanted to go by. Low goes by he, him pronouns, so I am going to be respectful, and I am going to go by his preferred pronouns. That's who I am. I'm going to be respectful no matter what. So, I reached out on TikTok because I thought that I had their personal number, but I didn't. So I reached out on TikTok, said, hey, your name and company's come up a couple times where I've had people in here that feel that they've been scammed by Unicorn Dust Supply Company, that they've bought products from you. They have not received the products. And then I've also been told about a fire fundraiser for Parish Tumblr. I think it was Parish Tumblr. Did you want to come live and talk about this and say your side of the story, or did you want to comment on this? So they sent me their number and said, can you text me? So we went through a text on this. There are pieces in here. He's told me that I can read this verbatim. And let whoever know whatever. There are some pieces in here that I'm not going to say because I feel that there is some personal information in here that he sent over that I'm not gonna state. So you're gonna hear me skip over. I think it's just one paragraph, and I'm not gonna read it. Period. I'm not gonna read it. So, and all that's in there is that they give some personal information about them, like that just doesn't need to be out there. So, reached out, I said, hey, this is Jen, Boujie. They said, I'm just going to tell you my thoughts also. Y'all know I like to be Switzerland in a lot of these. What's up, Harry? I feel like the responses were straight from ChatGPT. I feel like they just was like, hey, what do I say back? So they are long, and they are written AI style, in my opinion. We are talking about Low from Unicorn Dust Supply Company. Okay, that's what we're talking about. I'm going to look down in here, so I'm not going to be looking at y'all. And I thought that was pretty transparent about the glitter company. Okay, well, that's what we're discussing right here. Okay. Low states. First, I want to assure you and everyone else, every single order from my closeout sale will be shipped regardless of status. Even the handful of people who requested refunds or filed a chargeback will still be receiving their orders. I've never denied anyone a refund or a chargeback, and I never will. That's the first thing that kind of throws me off. Just my opinion. It could be just worded wrong, but the way that it's worded to me, it says, even the handful of people who requested refunds or chargeback will still receive their order. I've never denied a refund or a chargeback. So I'm not sure if they're saying I refunded their order and I'm still going to send their order to them, or if they contradicted themselves there. This delay happened because shortly after launching the sale, I got sick again and I was hospitalized. Before I could pull all the orders, though, a good portion were pulled, packed, and sent. I do understand the frustration from the customers who have not yet gotten their orders. While I was in the hospital, the date of my lease being up at my store came and went. So my friends and family had to move everything out of my retail space and into storage. I'm now in the process of organizing those items and getting a makeshift shop set up so I can get everything shipped out. Now, with that being said, I will be first to admit I didn't go about this the right way. Hell, looking back, I should have shut my business down earlier when I knew my health would be an ongoing battle. This was my mistake, and I fully own it. But what I did not do, and will never do, is scam anyone. Though I would love to think that I could hop on a live and talk through this and attempt to resolve these issues, I don't think that will be the case. Honestly, I have been sent some pretty outrageous things from this already. People claiming I was never sick and that I tried to unalive myself, and that's why I was hospitalized. People speaking on my abuser. People talking about my personal life and my children. People speaking negatively on or refusing to use my proper pronouns. So I am not very certain getting in the box on a live will be productive so much as problematic. If there's any questions you have, I will be glad to answer them. So before I read any more, I'm just gonna, because it's a lot, so I want to kind of give everybody their opportunity and give me a break also, because reading these little words. A productive start, answer emails, that's a start, 100%. Okay. I've ordered a few times low, and I've never had an issue. Good. I know for a fact Low has severe... Well, that I can't speak on because I'm not sure on it, but what's crazy is he can't answer emails, but can text. Why are people not understanding why his health isn't a priority first people? Okay, so I stated I appreciate your side. I do have a question coming from me. Do you not feel it looks a little scammerish being in the hospital and having the subscription lives about your life there? Question. It just seems that if you can post on social media, you could make a public announcement on why people's orders aren't being sent. I don't know. There is also something about a fire fundraiser from Parish Tumblr. So that was my response back. Why were you doing the lives when you were in ICU and having people pay to come in there and see you? And if you can post on social medias every day, then why can't you respond to the customers who haven't received their orders? I'm happy for the ones that did receive their orders. That's great. But there are people who haven't received their orders, and it is acknowledged that the orders have not been sent. So those people feel a little bit different than the people who have never had an issue. See, so we've got two different types of people there. I had to go back and see what happened. So, the response back. Well, I can see how that looks shitty in general, being in the hospital and being on live like that. I wish it would have never happened, but I genuinely don't remember that time. Honestly, when I rewatched those lives, I was pretty embarrassed because I was sick as fuck, rambling on and nodding quite frequently. I'm going to skip some of it. I know it has been said that there is no way I didn't know I was on live, but I can assure you that there is. As far as having subscription groups, I don't really find it fair to call that a scam. It requires an entirely different level of service to hop on a live and sit in my house talking and answering questions than it does to run Unicorn Dust Supply. And that group was established before the closing of Unicorn Dust. And me getting hospitalized again. Unfortunately, my health problems are centered around my respiratory system. Anything that agitates that can set off a chain reaction. Glitter, mica, epoxy, and even chemicals used to make my adhesive can be a threat. This is not just an asthma flare-up, but it's my life, Jen. If I am not diligent and become compliant when handling those things, it is life-threatening. I understand that people want to know specifics, an exact diagnosis. But honestly, in some of this, I have to be allowed some... I can't say that word. Anonymity. I can't say the word, y'all. Anonymity. While I will admit sometimes I shut down completely and hide from it, I'm genuinely fucking scared, and I have no idea what to do. This has been my life's work for damn near 7 years, and that's how I support my girls. Realizing I had to give it up wasn't easy, and it still isn't most days. I feel it's somewhat of a double-edged sword because I have made posts updating people about my health and letting them know what I can about being sick. But I've also gotten quite a bit of negative backlash on posting too much and attention seeking. So I'm not really sure where the line blurs. Yeah, I did find it odd because I didn't ask anything about the medical history. I don't know. It almost seemed like they were going around. I don't know. I'm still not sure on how I feel about it yet. As I'm reading, this is my second time reading it, so you know. Yeah. I will make an offer to you, though. Since this live is going to take place like this, I will gladly show someone of your choosing, a nurse or doctor that you know, my medical records in real time from last year. I will not screenshot and send them, but we can video chat and I will screen share. It can be voice recorded if you need, but I will not put my records out there to be spread around again. I'm not reading this part because it's none of y'all's business. Yeah, that part I'm not reading. So my response to that was, any response on the fire fundraiser? Lo said, Jen, as far as the Paris Tumblr shit goes, that, my friend, is Pandora's box and involves a lot more than was ever told. I sat with my mouth shut and let them drag me to hell and back. There is so very much that lies between the lines on that situation and the accusations they brought. I don't know if you are in a single party consent state or not, but I will give my permission to be recorded if you want to just call me on that one. When is this live supposed to take place? Yeah, please be respectful. I said, so what if you came on live, told your side, I can turn the comments off, and then you can stay or go, but at least you say your side. The live will be tonight most likely because people keep bringing you up. Lo says, that's fine. I'm not going to run from accountability for things that I have done wrong. Again, Unicorn Dust Supply Company closing and orders being delayed. That was poor management on my part. I will resolve all these orders as soon as I can, and I am working on that very soon. The parish tumbler shit is not at all being told in truth. Did I screw up that friendship? Yes. Did I steal money from them? Absolutely not. I said, also, if you don't mind me asking, what are your pronouns? Said, I don't mind you asking at all. My pronouns are he, him. I said, I go live at 8:30 Eastern, and you're more than welcome to come and say your side. I won't be on the live. I can't do it in front of my kids, though I'm sure it would be somewhat therapeutic for me to speak on it. My kids aren't involved in any of this, and I would be wrong to involve them. I'm certain, with or without my presence, there will be people upset at my mistakes, big or small. Hell, in 7 years of running this company, I'm certain there are mistakes made, orders messed up, and deadlines missed that are unacceptable and imperable to some. And to those people, I genuinely do apologize, and I take full accountability for them. However, when it comes to the Paris situation, I just can't with that. The truth was never told as to why Penny was so mad at me. Instead, a lie was made to seem true in attempts to discredit my word on that matter. Anyways, regardless of any or all of it, I do appreciate you reaching out. Feel free to read any or all of this to whoever needs to hear it. If any questions are about my medical history or diagnosis, feel free to let me know and we can chat anytime. I said, I appreciate you reaching back out. Question, do you have a timeline when you think the orders will be fulfilled by, and where would be the best place to contact you about the orders that have not been fulfilled? I'm hoping to get a storage building ready to go by the middle of next week. Since we had to move, I've been waiting on internet, but internet should be ran tomorrow. When all of that is set, I will be able to actually get in and start pulling the remaining orders. I have to get with Shopify this week about reactivating my store customer service email so they can just email unicorndustmicas@gmail.com. So, that was... I didn't write anything back after that. What are y'all's thoughts? I don't know. I mean, I do. I mean, I've seen the photos and videos of Lo being in the hospital. So I don't think that part is fake. I genuinely believe that. I don't think that takes away from the responsibilities of, not responding to emails when you've been out of the hospital for a minute now, so I think it happened. A lot of people get more than they can handle. I messed up. Honestly hope in my heart that he makes it right. Plus, he's been sick. Yeah, communication is key with customers. As long as there's communication, and I think that's the problem. So, and like I said, we have a mixture in the chat. We have people who are diehard, believe everything that went down, and that's okay. But you have other people who have not received their orders or have not had the communication back to them about anything. So I could see their frustration as well. As far as the parish tumbler situation, I don't know the whole story. I have been told if anybody wants to come in, the box is always open. I say that. It was the chat that wanted me to reach out to Lo, so the box is open. But I'm not sure the whole thing. There was a fire. There was a fundraiser that I'm assuming must have been Lo doing the fundraiser. It seems that someone feels that all the money wasn't sent to parish Tumblr, and I've heard, now this is just hearsay, like I said, I don't know the whole story, that's when the storefront came up of the Unicorn Dust Supply, or that's what people are stating, so it's a weird timing, but nobody has ever came on and told the whole story. It's just been, obviously something went down. Thirsty Turtles did. Yeah, I think I was at that fundraiser. I was there at their shop that night. Actually, I'm pretty positive I put in like 60 or 70 things of glitter. Penny did make a video with receipts regarding her side. Okay, I just don't know who Penny is, so if, is it the same thing, Parish Tumblr, or did it change? The money from the fundraiser was misappropriated. I don't know. I think it's odd that he was willing for me to call, have a conversation about this, and gave me permission to record the conversation, but can't come on the live to talk about the same situation that you would talk to me about on the phone that you were willing to do. So that seems sketchy to me. We're talking about Lo with Unicorn Dust Supply Company. Penny wasn't being honest at all, I meant. Penny wasn't being? That's what I'm saying. We gotta look further into it. If people got the proof, there's two different sides. Everybody is saying different side. Penny gave all the receipts, and there's a video of Penny's receipts. Penny was lying. Lo took the money. Lo gave the money. The money was misappropriated, No, this is all at the same time. This is just right before I went live. This happened before I went live. We've been talking for... The last message was at 8:24 p.m. So, it's 9:03 now. Texting and... No, it wasn't texting. Let's do that again. I don't think y'all... Were you in here when I read it? Maybe you weren't in here when I read it. Where to go? I don't know if you're in a single party consent state or not, but I will give my permission to be recorded if you just want to call me on that one. That was at 7:43. I won't be on the live was at 8:09. I totally understand him not wanting to come on in front of his daughters too. What I'm stating, I don't know if y'all are understanding what I'm saying. Maybe we're not meshing. We're not on the same page. You interpret that to be another time? That could have been what it was. I could have interpreted it wrong. My perception could have been wrong. Could have been. Penny Hardy. Is that her account? Time you can still come on. If people know the truth, should they speak it? I mean, if they have proof of the truth. Now, there's a difference, you know what I mean? You can come on and say hearsay, but I don't really want you to do hearsay. If there's proof on it, or you have a play where you can say, oh, this is on Penny's channel, blah, blah, blah. But I don't, you know what I mean? I mean, you're more than welcome to, because it's but I would say opinion-based. This is what I was told from such and such, or this is how I know. What's going on now? We were talking about low with unicorn dust supply. Jenna's saying he would do a video call with his girls there, but wouldn't go on live with me. The way I interpreted it, and it, like I'm saying, text can be interpreted many ways, so I could have got it wrong. The way I interpreted it was, you can call me now, like you can call me and record me, and I will give you my version of what happened with Parish Tumblers. My response back was, why don't you come live and just do it there? If you don't care about me recording, then I can just turn the comments off, because I think one of the main things that bothers him is that people are not using his preferred pronouns. So I said, I can turn the comments off, so that way nobody can be disrespectful. And then after you tell your side, if you want to leave, you can leave, or if you want to allow people, because I'll turn the comments on then, go from there. So my interpretation was, you can call me now, I can talk about it. I said, let's do the live. They said, nah, I'm not going to do the live. So I could have got that wrong. Yeah, meaning, that's what I said. Maybe meaning you can call when the kids aren't there. Yeah, it wasn't specified in that. The kids weren't brought up until afterwards, but it definitely could have been that. They didn't use the correct pronouns. Well, I don't know. I mean, on that, that's their preferred, so that's what I'm going to use. Yeah, I'm good with that. It is what it is. They knew that I was doing the live. I reached out. I made sure that I had permission on it. So it wasn't done out of spite. They know just as well as everyone else on here, I'm going to give my opinion based on it and how I interpreted it, my perception on it, how I felt about it. You're going to have your perception and how you feel about the responses that was in it. All I can do is say, the company's not there anymore, so it's not like you can buy from them anyway. But if if it opens up again and it hasn't been resolved, you know what has been said, and they have acknowledged that they have not got a lot of the orders out, or some of the orders out. So, Parish Tumblr business page. Unicorn Death Supply. He admitted it, yes. I mean, in the thing, he says that, says that he's trying to right his wrongs, trying to get the orders out that hasn't been, sent out yet, but needs to have a makeshift shop so they can go through and, I guess, see what inventory they have, because it was taken out of the storefront and, I guess, taken to a storage building. Well, that's fine. He can put his health and his girls first. He needs to refund the money. I mean, Walmart and Target and all of those kind of Amazon, they don't care if you have a life and kids and anything going on. Business is business. And if you have their money, if they've paid for their product, health problem or not, the money should be refunded, especially if you're out. So that's just my opinion, but when he was in the hospital, he was trying to organize who did the sale. If it was all, it's hard to talk to a chat. If someone wants to come up and they want to tell their side of the story, they can tell their side of the story. Just make sure that you put it as, and that it's not fact, that this is what you were told, or this is what you know. Simple as that. But, arguing back and forth in the chat on, what's right and what's wrong. Whoever did the sale, it doesn't matter if it was when Lowe was in the hospital or not in the hospital. The business made the sale. The business received the funds for those products, and they have not received their products. Some of these people have emailed and have not had a response back. Said owner is no longer in the hospital. Whoever else is a part of the company that did the sale, if it wasn't Lowe, is responsible for getting those products out or refunding the money. I mean, simple fix. And only wants to be the one to make it right. Well, I mean, if you only want to be the one to make it right, I mean, people want their product or their money, There's anyone else that's a part of the company. I don't think that. Then refund the money. Then refund the money. If that's the only person that runs the company, then refund the money. If you can't get the products out, just refund the money. I mean, I don't think that, and I'm okay with defending them. That's completely okay. Business is business. Refund the money. At this point, a lot of people probably don't want the product. They want their money back. They're upset with the fact that there's no communication. I don't think that people understand that 98% of the time with any of the things we talk about, it's about the communication. If you take accountability for what you've done and you fix that mistake, you move on with your life. We move on with ours. But he physically couldn't communicate. Were the cells turned off? He was communicating in ICU on subscription labs. not remembering or not doesn't negate the fact that that's still what happened. Yeah, when does it become too long? When you can't ask for refunds? Because that's the other part of this world is you only have a specific amount of time before you can get refunds in most of the things that you use. And a lot of companies know that. Yeah, you have to be a sub to find anything out. Well, I mean, so did they have to become subscribers to find out about their order? Yeah, it's like the Shopify account it doesn't even seem like it's up, which means I don't know. Well, it's not fair. So spend more money to find out where your money is. What are you talking about? Oh, I know what you're talking about. Took me a second. Exactly. People, when they buy stuff, it's because they need it most of the time. Or they're doing it out the kindness of their heart, but, a lot of people need it. So they have their Tumblr business or their crafting business or their wedding business that they need these supplies for. You know what I mean? I'm telling you, man, it's a wild industry. Unfortunately, there's so many people, and it's not just the crafting community. I mean, it's every community. People, there's just some fucking scamming ass people in this world, unfortunately, and they fall in all categories. You know what I mean? They fall in all categories. Male, female, red, black, blue, green, yellow, white, crafters, NASCAR drivers, politicians, teachers, police officers. It's everywhere. Amazon, Walmart, Target. So, followed who? You followed? But that was really what I was coming live tonight about, just to kind of explain. I don't think. What's that thing? Thank you. That's my thing. I mean, there's no excuse. Look, I'm the type. Look, if my orders have not went out in a timely manner, and I admit, like, there's been a couple times that it's been out later than the time given on there. You know what I mean? I am like panicky that I could never take someone's money. If I'm missing a glitter, I'm gonna refund you back for that one glitter. Like, oh, I must have messed up in inventory. Like, I don't understand how people can just take people's money and just be like, yeah, I mean, I know I messed up. I'm sure I messed up in the past. Have you ever been in hospital fighting for your life, though? Yeah. When I was 9 years old, I had E. coli in my bloodstream. I was in ICU for 2.5 weeks. I had a blood infection. I was paralyzed from the neck down. I was a kid. But yeah. I was. So was my sister. She was on a ventilator. She has epilepsy. She has a cyst on her brain. So does others. Still have to do the right thing. You still have to do the right thing. If you knew that this was a problem last year, because it was a problem last year. I remember concert season last season when Lo was in ICU on a ventilator. It was told then that glitter and mica and all that was an issue, that they should not be around it. Right? Do y'all remember that? Because I remember that. So to continue the business when you didn't care about it then, to continue those orders, and then it to happen again, you know, the happens once, shame on you, happens again, shame on me. You shouldn't have opened it back up then. If this was a problem, a life-threatening problem, which he states it is, then you shouldn't have opened it back up for business, or you should have just done closed products, here's what I have left, wholesale that shit, and send it out. And I mean, I'm not dissing them. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I'm saying this could easily be fixed. Refund the money, or get the product out. You know what I mean? Honestly, at this point, it's easier to just refund the money out. Open up your store, refund it out. Work out a plan. If you can't refund it all, I'm sure people will work out, you know. Find out, just like we did. Have people reach in if you don't know what orders it is, and you can't get your Shopify out. Reach out to them one by one. Get on a fucking payment plan. Hey, I can't, I have children. This was my health issues. I can pay you $5 a month until I can pay you back, or I can get your order back to you. Which one? But you got to fucking talk to them. You can't run from it. You say you're going to be held accountable for it, and that you're going to acknowledge that you're accountable for it. Then communicate with your customers. I think we've learned this over the past year. Communication is literally all most people want. They want you to be fucking honest. They want you to communicate with them. They want you to explain the situation, especially if they gave you money or they were a part of the whole lives or public platforms that it was done on. So, if the business was still open, my opinion only, I would ask my friends and following not to give money to that company. Whether you want to say because they're scamming, whether you want to say it's due to health issues, but not all the orders come out. There's not a lot of great communication. There's a lot of red flags with communication, and there's over explaining things that really doesn't need to be explained. So that would be my opinion. But fortunately and unfortunately, the company is not open anymore anyway. So I mean, it doesn't matter, man. You do have people who watch you, and it does matter. And there's not a lot of people that call out scammers. So it sucks to do, because a lot of times when you're calling out scammers, it's people there's a lot of following that likes them. There's a reason they're scammers, is because they're good at it. They have a good personality. That's why I kind of laugh when Chauvin or anything, when they think that I'm scamming, and I'm like, dude, I don't ask for y'all to send gifts. I don't do dual lives. I don't ask for y'all to, you know what I mean? It's wild to me. I think I just live in a different reality than a lot of people, in my opinion. Like, I just live in a different reality. I can't fucking understand people. I think more people should call out scammers. I think more people should fucking be honest, and, if it fucking happened to you, don't stay quiet. Fucking talk about it. Don't think that just because it was $20 and they were a big business that you shouldn't say something about it. I've worked with a lot of businesses on the back end that never made it to this live where we call people out, because sometimes we are able to handle it off live, and I can reach out to some of these bigger creators that have orders that aren't communicating with their customers the right way. And so I do have people that reach out, and I will reach out to them and say, hey, this is what I'm being told. This is, what's going on with it? Do you want to talk about it? And we can sometimes resolve it before it ever even has to go on live. The main thing is just, like, communicate with your customers, or eventually you're going to be called out about it. Don't open up a business that you don't think that you're going to be able to produce the products or get them out. Yes, please respect the pronouns. Logos by he, so let's respect the pronouns in here. If that's not something you want to do, you can say they. If that's not something you want to do, you don't have to be in the live. I just don't want to be disrespectful, so let's just not. And I'm glad you thank you. But anyways, what else do we have? Do we have anything else y'all want to talk about? Yeah, if nothing else, just type low. It's easy. So, I'll do a little bit more into, honestly, there's not much you can do about what happened with the fire fundraiser if there is something that actually happened. We know that something went down. There's three sides to every story. There's going to be theirs, this one, and the truth, So I can look into it a little bit further and see what it is. Unfortunately, that money's probably long gone. And just like I said, my opinion would be, if they open up another company, I would be very cautious before ordering for them. I would be cautious. So that's just my opinion. I guess next on the list, I'm going to look up and try to do some more research on the Sunflower Creations, but I really haven't had a lot of people that sent anything on it, so I don't know what the chat is really wanting me to find out about them. I haven't had people who's came out and said they're missing orders, so I don't know if it's a tit for tat type of thing. I've asked if you have any proof, and if that's something that you truly want me to look into, I do want you to send over and say, hey, I don't have my order from them, or, I bought the life supply and I'm not getting this, but I haven't received anything. So on that, not much I can do. Susan, the last update that we did on Susan was last night. She reached out to a couple of people and said that, I'll just read it. Hello, I'm still fighting with Venmo, but I made a little progress. If they don't give me back my account, they'll at least let me withdraw my balance to a different account once they decide. Regardless, I'm in the process of taking out a loan for the remaining $2,800 left. So we can all just be done with it. Have a good evening. So that was Monday. We're on Thursday. Has anybody else received any of their refund? Nancy, have you received a refund? I mean, normally a process of a loan. I mean, if I went into my bank and got a process for a loan, I would have that loan by that day, if not the next day, typically. So, I don't know what kind of loan she's taking out, but it shouldn't take 4 or 5 days. That just means she might not be able to get approved for the loan. Or she's just lying to buy more time. Chauvin, haven't heard anything on that today, so don't know what that means. We definitely have our cameras on, and we're being careful with that one. So those are the 4 topics of tonight. Any questions? How's she gonna return the money to people? I don't think that she's really getting a loan. I would love for her to get a loan and pay people back. That would be a fucking miracle. If not, State Attorney General hopefully will do something, but it is a smaller money case, for them, so I don't know exactly what they would do. But North Carolina, they do crack down a little bit more on it. No problem. I appreciate you being in here. Where she's paranoid and has what looks like a pew-pew. Yeah, I have. So, I have no faith in... Me neither, girl. I hate the fact that I don't know how I was full. I'm honestly like, I'm usually such a good judge of character. So I don't know how that one slipped through the cracks. I know y'all have watched 2 of my friendships go down. Y'all watched Beth, and then y'all watched Susan. Beth, I feel, is a little bit different. I feel like our friendship was genuine for most of our friendship. We were friends for 14 years, 13 years, however many, 13, 14 years. I do believe that we had a genuine friendship. I believe that she helped me out in a time that I was having panic attacks and anxiety, and I was in such a dark spot. So I'm always going to be appreciative to her. And I do see there's a lot of good in her. There might be some, there might be some bad traits or whatever here and there, but there was a lot of good in her, and I believe that the friendship meant a lot until here at the end. Susan, that one just, I don't know how that one slipped through. It's like you look now and you see the signs, but you just don't think that people would go that far. I know there's like so many true crime shows and shit that show that people will go this far and say those types of things. Like, I don't know. I never saw that one. I just didn't see that one coming. So, has anyone heard from Phoenix? Not since Tumblr invasion 2 years ago. I have a question. What's your question, Kathy Jo? My wife and I are playing Fortnite. That's my hope that she's not going to roll up. That's not, if you don't like me, you don't have to like me, but don't try to come and, I don't know, and try to intimidate someone, or it's not cool. I'll say when I went to Gretna, I had to go to Gretna because she put a restraining order out on me. So I had to go to court in her town. I did not go by her house. I did not drive by her house. I kept Life 360 on at all times to make sure that there was a where I went. Because I'm not the type of person that's going to go and just try to fucking intimidate with people. You know, that's just not who I am. But I went to her hometown because she had me go to court against her. Otherwise, I would have never went to Gretna. Maybe to New Orleans one day for vacation or something, but I would have never went to Gretna. So, I don't know if I believe her either. She did the whole Tumblr invasion thing, so I don't know. You never know with people, that's the thing. You never know. You can say you know, and then they fucking surprise you. So. So I know you were spreading awareness. I missed it, sorry. Let me go back and find that. So I know you're spreading awareness, but is anyone besides MK going to pursue court on Show Me Chauvin? Yes. There's already been more people. I mean, even MK's is a restraining order. So that is still a civil case. There is a DVPO against her in West Virginia, domestic violence order of protection. For Nancy, who is her ex, that has had death threats against her. And I have turned everything over to the police for the threats and harassment as well. So. You're welcome. You're welcome, you're welcome, you're welcome. Gretna Fest is coming out. Only time I've ever wanted to go to Gretna. Yeah, well, the only time when I went to Gretna, I was at my attorney's office and at the courthouse. So. It's a big weekend and all that. Wow. Good night. Have a good night. Thanks for hanging out. Have you shared what your podcast content will be? My content, yeah. I haven't shared what my podcast is or the name of it or anything yet. It'll be true crime paranormal, but it'll be broke up into 2 different categories. So we'll talk about one person. The first episode will be the true crime portion of it, what happened, the victims, how it happened, a little bit about the person. The second episode will be the more paranormal side. If there's any evidence of hauntings that's been there, things like that. But I broke it up into 2 different sections because not everybody likes paranormal, not everybody likes true crime, so just do it a little bit different that way. Ooh. What's your question, Tina? Yeah, we had a blast in New Orleans when we went. Oh, it's like a pride festival? I bet that is badass. What up, Lakin? How you doing? What up? Try not to put music on, but y'all know I don't like the quiet. When I'm just reading, it's not hard. Oh yeah, right? I had a good time. Think it. Did I miss her question? I read with the TV on. Oh, I read with the TV on. I watch TV while I'm playing Sudoku or some games or whatever. You called her school and spoke to the principal, and they laughed. Oh, I did. I mentioned this yesterday. You might not have been in the live. I did not speak with Ashley Chauvin's principal. I did not call Ashley Chauvin's school. I did not call Ashley Chauvin's board. I did not email Ashley Chauvin's principal, board, or anything. I have not been there or taken any photos of Ashley Chauvin's vehicles. I have not been in Louisiana since, what was the last time? April of 2025. That was the last time I was in Louisiana at a court case against Ashley Chauvin. I have not threatened Ashley Chauvin. I have not threatened Ashley Chauvin's family. I am not currently plotting to unalive Ashley Chauvin, nor am I trying to conspire to get anyone else to do that. All of those are lies. I absolutely have never done that, and that I don't know who, that it's just pure lies. I told Sam the other day, I was like, ooh, Sam, you're with a bad girl, you know, someone who's conspiring to commit. Like, what the fuck? Oh yeah, July. Well, but I wasn't in Gretna. I never went near Gretna when I was there. I was at least an hour or so away from Gretna. So I was in Louisiana 4th of July weekend, but I was not in Gretna, Kenner. I think it was in Ponchatoula. I think that's where I was at. Right? Yeah, nobody is conspiring. They're not conspiring by me or anyone in my chat. Like, don't you have a gated community? Crazy. Anyways, yeah, so that was that. Anything else? I forget what all of them. I was never fired for being an addict. Never fired by failing a illegal substance test. Was never told I could never be hired again towards any of those things. The last time that I did a hard drug, I was 21 years old. I am now 38. The fuck? I was 21. I wasn't even in medical when I had issues. My dad died at 16 of cancer. I was 16. My dad died. I became an addict from 16 to 21. 21 years old, I kicked that shit. Never touched it again. Deleted everyone in my phone that I ever did it with. Never spoke to them again. Moved out of the area that I was in. Moved away from there. And never fucking looked back. I was 21. I'm 38 now. I'm fucking proud of the things that I've accomplished in my life. So, you can bring up my past. Dude, I was a kid. I was a fucking kid. Since then, you can get me for what? Ganja? Kiss my ass. That's what makes me nice. So, working. Bitch, I was a fucking server back then. Do you know who... I worked in the food industry when I was 21. You think I got fired over a freaking illegal... She's so stupid. The things that are said is just, like, mind-blowing to me. Oh, yeah, I had a fucked up past. I did not... Like, people... My story... A lot of my story is on my TikTok. I have no problem. I don't hide my past. I came from a fucked up life. I grew up in a fucked up lifestyle, an abusive stepdad, an addict mom. I helped raise my fucking siblings. Like, bitch, if shit I should have never fucking seen as a kid. I went through and that was normal. You know what I mean? But that doesn't define who I am as a person now. And that's the ones that fucking sit there and talk about the hard life that they lived and how they were abused and this happened to them and that happened to them and their parents didn't push them and this, that, and the other, and this is why they ended up that way, fucking pisses me off. Because no, you make the choice. If you want to live in a lower vibration and say that I can't fucking do better because my family didn't love me and I went through this and I went through abuse, so did a lot of other people in this life. And you know what? It fucking sucks. It does. It sucks ass to go through that and have a family who doesn't have your fucking back. But you know what? Don't fucking be that person then. Grow up and learn to be a better fucking person. We have internet now. We have ways to fucking learn that we don't have to be indoctrinated by what our families taught us. So do the fucking research and grow the fuck up. That's just my philosophy though. I can't fucking stand someone to say that. Well, because I lived this life and my dad was an alcoholic, I became an alcoholic. No, that's not why you became an alcoholic. We all have past. But you can learn from them. You don't have to continue that. Especially when you have children. That's the other ones that get me. Why bring children into this world and fucking be addicted to things? You think that's fair for them to have to grow up and watch you do that? Because you want to sit there and say you had a hard life and then you give your kids the same motherfucking life you grew up in? I don't feel bad for you at that point. I don't respect you. Because if you give your children the same fucking life you grew up in and it was bad, that's your choice. You chose that. I watch different people grow up with the same household. And they all come out different. But they all choose it. When you become an adult, and you start doing your own life, paying your own bills, you choose everything you fucking do. And you no longer get to blame it on your family or anything else. Everything you do, that is on you. No one else. So, take accountability. If you was a fuck up, say you was a fuck up. Or I was a fuck up. 16 to 21, I was a fuck up. Didn't care about anything. Didn't care about life. Didn't care. I grew up. Sometimes you can be 38 and that's when you grow up. You're never too old to learn and to grow. You can be 72 and fucking grow. My grandmother, Southern Baptist, right? Choir director for the Baptist church I grew up in. Completely grew up where same-sex marriage is the worst thing ever. Going to hell. Would never be a part of it. If my grandmother can come to my fucking wedding and stand in my family photos and love my wife, growing up the way she grew up, anyone can change. I don't believe old dogs can't learn new tricks. They can. You just gotta fucking give them some faith. No, even a 46-year-old living in a gated community who has fucked people over royally can still fucking grow. If they choose to. They can still grow. Might take a long time to build trust up. But you make that choice to stay being a scum. You make that choice to make everybody's life at work a living hell because you're in a bad mood and you're not happy with your life. It's not fair. You make that choice. But anyways, that's my gen talk for tonight. If you don't like it, I don't give a fuck. That's just my philosophy and you don't gotta live by it. Yeah. Exactly. Breaking cycles, the only way, and I've said this for a long time, the only way you can break a cycle is you can feel the fucking pain. You have to feel it. You have to go through it. You have to live it. You have to fucking work through it. When you talk about generational curses, when you talk about grandpa touched this one, uncle touched this one, Everybody grows up and everybody been touched. Everything's been, you know what I'm saying? When you live in that that type of lifestyle and everybody keeps quiet about it. We don't talk about this. You know? You don't live through that pain and then keep it in. Because when you do that, you allow it to happen to the next generation. Because you kept quiet. You might not say nothing when you're little. And that's okay. Because I didn't say nothing when I was little. Because I didn't have anyone that I thought was going to protect me. But when I grew up, I fucking spoke on it. And I let them know this is what they did. And I let everyone in that fucking family know this is what they did. Don't let anybody around, don't let them around your children. Luckily, he died in a car accident. So nobody else got messed with. But I had to go through that. I had to go through the fear of making the family be disappointed that we ruined that reputation. That we weren't good old perfect. That the people in the church thought we were. That we had bad people in our family too. And that shit hurt. And that shit was scary. But I dealt with it. And I grew from it. And I taught my sister how to deal from it. I taught my sister how to make sure to go through the grief that she had to deal with and heal from that shit. And my brothers, the same. So their children don't grow up like we grew up. You only beat the curses by feeling the fucking pain. And going through some of the hardest points of just making it be known. So, it is what it is. Sorry it went off topic, but that's what came on my heart, and so that's what we talked about. Well, I'm an analogy type person, so. But, anyways, I think I'm done for the night. Like I say, you never know what you're going to get. But I appreciate you guys being here. I appreciate y'all's support. As always, I love y'all so much. I could not do this without y'all. I couldn't be where I'm at without you guys. And I appreciate y'all. Keep doing what you're doing. Because it's working. You know? Be a good person. Don't get scammed. Y'all have a great night. It's Friday tomorrow. Friday night fill-ins. What are we feeling? I don't know. But I'm sure it'll be interesting. So I appreciate y'all, and I will see y'all tomorrow night. I might see y'all tomorrow morning because I think I'm doing a glitter lab. But I love you too. That's my little brother. Love you too, buddy.